We're gonna make baked apples. So we need to have some apples, which we have from Blue Sky Stewardship. We're gonna take an apple, we're gonna hollow out the middle, we're gonna fill it with more apples and more stuff. So first step is gonna be coring the apples. So this is pretty straightforward stuff, right? You don't have to be, you're just making a hole. You guys have all made a hole before, right? So you understand what's happening. It just needs to be hollowed out, and we need to keep these, save these apples for the filling later, all right? Martha Stewart is nowhere near here, so we can do whatever we want with the food. No one's gonna get yelled at. Okay, so now we need to make the filling. Streusel is a topping. It goes on all kinds of stuff. Every cookie you've ever had probably has 4 of the 5 things in it, if not all of them. We're gonna taste this before we put it in the apples, and we're all gonna agree that it's delicious. I promise. So, step 1 is cutting a thing that's called cutting the butter into the flour. So it's equal amounts of flour, oats, and sugar. Someone might tell you it needs to be, whatever, 52 degrees or something, and you'll make the perfect streusel. I don't hang out with those people. Boom, that looks pretty good. And then you just squeeze it, and you got yourself a blurb. So we want to add the apples to this and mix it all together. Perfect, stop. Okay, tell me what you think. How about that? Tell me if butter and sugar is good.
Tastes like a cookie.
So we pretty much just made oatmeal cookies with apples in it, right? There's just no leavening agent to make them go boop. So yeah, like you wouldn't go home and eat brown sugar and butter like just on their own, right? Okay, don't answer. That's fine. But yeah, you pretty much just made a cookie. So what's good? Let's trick everyone into thinking we're having a nice healthy dish by taking these apples and push it off of there and just fill those dudes up. Those look pretty good. Those look really stacked. I'm really excited about this. I turned the oven on a little while ago, so it's already 325 degrees. You bake them until they're done, which sounds stupid and sort of like, duh. Depends on the size of the apples and what you fill them with. So I would just set the timer for 10 minutes. So the oven's 325, so it's that temperature, but I really want them to bake at like 300 because they're so small apples. So now I'm gonna turn it down so it's really that temperature. Because if I started at 300, it would actually be like 250 degrees since we opened the door and stuff. Boop. All right, and now we wait.
That's a weird looking apple.
Are you tired of going to the store for your apples?
Come down to Blue Sky Stewardship and have a natural apple on us. Rocking it. If someone can help offset their own demand for fruits and vegetables from the store, if someone can offset their demand for conventional landscaping by hiring a company like ours, or even just doing it on their own to make their yard a polyculture of different food producing biological entities, then that actually makes your home a more enjoyable place to live and makes you more food secure. And to do that, I think requires a lot of trees. Maples are everywhere in this town. Everywhere. If you look along the streets, all around Missoula, there are just maples. They're maple, everywhere. Many of them were planted at the same time by deliberate effort on behalf of the city. There's this huge plan to replace them in the next 10 to 20 years because they're all going to die in that amount of time. So the city has to figure out how to replace all these trees. You know, one of the things we wanted to do is persuade them to plant fruit and nut trees, but the big concern there is it drops stuff on people, it drops stuff on cars, on bikers. Although I think that is a solvable problem because you just have to get the right workforce out there to glean before things start really causing issues. I think we just need to grow a lot more food wherever we live. I think that's the point. I love my job. Yeah. That's why I do it.
What I like about this dish is that there's no right way to do it, and there's really no wrong way. You can fill it with whatever you want. You can cook it as long as you want. If you like them mushy, like applesauce, do it. If you like them kind of crispy still, like I do, don't cook them as long. Yeah, it's a horrible scent. So you're probably looking at 6 servings. If you harvested the apples yourself, I don't know, under $2. If you buy the apples, $4. And those would be bigger store-bought apples. So maybe $4 for 6, but it might be closer to 3. If I had to guess. You could serve them with stuffing and mashed potatoes, I suppose. But most importantly, you can serve them with ice cream. And I think that's what we'll do. You'll notice someday maybe that a lot of food is taking the food apart, exploding it, and then putting it all back together. Especially French food.
It's not good. It's hella good.
Tight. And if you're ever at a restaurant and you eat something and you think that, you should tell someone. People like finding out that their food's hella good.
Your food's hella good.
Tight.